Welcome to this short series, Success Principles. One of the common mistakes that students do is to take too many practice tests. And one of the common questions asked by aspirants is, I'm scoring less in my practice tests. What should I do? How many practice tests should I take? Before answering that, let me talk about the vicious cycle of practice tests. Aspirants do the mistake of taking too many practice tests. What happens is, because of this, they get less time to revise and to work on their deficiencies. Thus, they end up scoring less in the test papers, which affects their confidence. As an answer to this, they try to read more about the test explanations and to take more tests, but this doesn't help. If they do not revise what they have already read, they end up scoring less in their test papers. So, taking more tests does not help, it just traps you in a vicious cycle of practice tests. A common planning error seen is, in the last 2 to 3 months, students decide on taking one test every alternate day. Now, every test consumes at least 6 hours per test. Let me explain. 3 hours for the test itself, 1 hour for travel or test preparation, and at least 2 to 3 hours of test analysis. Now, if you plan to take 30 tests in the last 60 days, you'll end up spending 180 hours. And if you study 12 hours a day, you will have spent 15 days out of the last 60 days just in taking tests. I'm not even counting the days spent in depression over the low test scores. So, what should you do in the final 2 to 3 months? I would suggest revise a subject for 5 days, then take the test seriously in a simulated environment. Note the weak topics and read for the next 1 or 2 days. Read from your own sources. Do not try to read the entire test explanation. You may have collected a lot of test explanation booklets, and it would be tempting to read all of them, but please, you already have a lot of material to read. Do not overdo it. One test per week is enough. I repeat, one test per week is enough. Align this test to your study schedule, to the subject that you are reading, and then take this test. In the final 2 weeks, please do not take any tests. Do not risk any dip in your confidence. There is no need for unnecessary comparisons to play on your mind, and there is no need for any new study material. You already have a lot to read. Throughout the preparation year, you can take 1 to 2 subject-wise MCQ and mains tests every month after you finish reading a particular subject. For static portion, you may read from previous year's UPSC tests or coaching test papers. And for current affairs, it is better to solve these MCQs for half to 1 hour every day from any reliable source. Friends, it is also important to understand what is the purpose of taking practice tests. Practice tests are to assess your preparation and to identify weak areas, to know if your time management is right, to get a feeling of this stress situation and to cope up with it, and to identify few good question topics that might be important for the main exam. However, practice tests are not for comparisons. Healthy comparison is okay, but do not let it affect your study or your mood. They are not to gather more study material. You already have a lot to read. They are not to spend more time on tests than on revisions, and they are definitely not to get depressed looking at your low test scores. So friends, read, revise, take tests and then revise again. I hope you like this short video series. Please join me to know more about UPSC preparation and Indian Foreign Service. Thank you.